A North Texas soldier named Jonathan Posey will soon be coming home, but not from the war in the Middle East. Posey was killed in 1950 in the Korean conflict. 63 years later, his remains are returning. His widow is remarried, but she shares with our Sean Rabb the man she never held a memorial service for, her first love, now that Johnny is coming home.
Who are these folk right here on this picture?
There was 3 Johns in our group, so I always referred to this one as my John.
In her Irving home, Betty Williamson now shares memories of her high school sweetheart, her John, Jonathan Posey.
Our youth director introduced him to our youth group, and we met and hit it off right off.
John graduated Crozier Tech in '46, Betty the following year. Married September 8th, 1949. Posey, a Marine Reserve, was soon called to active duty in the Korean conflict.
As soon as I found out he was getting shipped out, I told my mom I'm going to California.
Her mom buying the plane ticket to get her to Camp Pendleton, California.
He's 6'2½", blonde haired and blue eyed, and I'm barely 5 foot and I weigh about 98 pounds there.
Where she spent precious days with her husband of 11 months.
He was shipped out on August the 15th.
That was 1950.
And when, Miss Betty, did you last hear from John Posey?
Thanksgiving Day was the last letter he wrote.
5 days later, December 2nd, 1950, Posey was killed.
They called him missing in action at first, but then with some eyewitnesses to when he was actually, it was a Chosin Reservoir.
Communist Chinese troops poured into northeast Korea, striking spread out UN troops. Posey's remains recently released by North Korea and identified through DNA.
So yesterday when I did get this call, it just floored me, literally floored me.
Miss Betty never had a memorial for her first husband.
I think it's because somewhere down deep, one day, his remains would come back home. And I just couldn't give up.
For military merit, Jonathan Posey, Jr.
Now, Miss Betty hopes after 60 years, her John will be home to be honored with the other brave men who've given their lives for freedom. Sean Rabb, Fox 4 News.